Here we go. Everybody can hear me nicely? Good. All right, so let's get started. My name is Nicolas Dur. I'm CEO of Prem Capital. I'm born French. I spent the best of 20 years in Australia. And since 2014, I'm calling Switzerland home. In these 3 different countries, I started businesses from scratch. And I know that people will ask questions, so maybe I should start to address that straight away. The name of my previous business was called Entropy. So there was an Entropy Australia, Party Limited, based in Sydney. And then further on, there was an Entropy GmbH in Switzerland. This Entropy GmbH in Switzerland is still alive and is getting transformed in Prem Capital GmbH. So people will say, well, there is no website available. There is a very simple reason behind that, and that's what I'm about to say right now. By trade, I'm an engineer. I studied database management. I even have a PhD for that. This PhD was obtained in 1992, believe it or not. So just to tell you how many wrinkles I have. So I don't believe really in titles, but look, it's just happened. But at the time, computers were monochrome, all right, at best, and there was no Windows or anything like that. So what I did is I spent most of my professional life doing what we call building management systems, which is basically maintaining conditions in big buildings, hospitals, university, commercial office, shopping mall, you name it. The idea is to try to maintain temperature, humidity, and if necessary, pressure. And to do that, well, you have a certain amount of sensors, and then on the other side, you have a certain amount of outputs to basically drive the building. Okay, we are talking valves and actuators and so on. With the emergence of big data in 2008, 9, 10, I realized that data from buildings were just building centric, and there might be a play outside of the building. I try to explain myself. Using data coming from the energy service providers, electricity, water, gas, and as well data coming from the Weather Bureau. So this is where I started to play with identifying patterns using big sets of data, and where I started to play as well with what is called machine learning, what today people call artificial intelligence. There are various techniques that can be used. The one that I use the most is called support vector machine learning. And by correlating these 3 sets of data that apparently have not much in common, we were able at Entropy to minimize the energy bill by 25%, just using data, right? And all the while maintaining the best conditions possible in buildings. So in 2014, I had the opportunity to go to Switzerland. And in my head, I thought it was the perfect opportunity to transfer the business model from Entropy in Australia in Switzerland. What I didn't take into account is that Switzerland is a small country, and Switzerland doesn't have big buildings. So the outcome is I just couldn't replicate the business. It just didn't work. So I had to think outside of the square, obviously. And I discovered that Switzerland was one of the first nations who wanted to embrace what crypto has to offer. So put it that way, Switzerland wants to become the first true crypto nation. I was very excited about that. And I realized that the little town called Zug, next door to where I live, is actually a true crypto valley. You have hundreds of startups using blockchain technology to try to solve the problems of today, not just finance. I'm talking about real estate, insurance, dentists, art, you name it. So my interest really grew, and I started to spend a lot of time doing blockchain in blockchain events and looking as well at what the crypto market has to offer. So why did I end up doing finance? It's very simple. I started to play with crypto exchanges. I realized that there were good opportunities if you could manage using APIs to do arbitrage between crypto exchange. This has proven reasonably profitable, even though it's not easy to maintain good returns when the amount of money invested grow a lot. Because what you realize when you do arbitrage is the order book tends to thin reasonably quickly if volumes are important. So I kept talking with people in the field, saying what can be done? Is it possible to really generate money just on the crypto market? And people said to me, it's too dangerous, too much volatility, and it's too risky. I said, yes, but what about artificial intelligence? I understand the problem with bots. Bots are tricky because you give them a set of instructions, but very quickly they can get caught if they don't have the ability to adapt to market conditions. And this is exactly what happens with bots. I don't know about you, but I played with several bots, CryptoHopper, and others, to realize that yes, they deliver, but if you don't tweak them all the time, you might end up in a bad situation, okay, which is basically getting liquidated and losing all your investments. So, question is, if you have to tweak these bots all the time, what's the point of a bot? A bot is supposed to be automated. So if you have to spend your time trying to make them work, to make sure that they do the right thing according to market changes, you have a problem. So with a group of people, we kept thinking about what would be the best option. Of course, artificial intelligence made sense. So we started to work around that, but someone came with a brilliant idea to say, what about we do cross-niche trading? And I thought about it for a minute, and actually more than a minute, and I thought, yes, this is actually a very good idea. What if we could manage to automate trading not just on the crypto market, but as well on other existing markets like the Forex market and the stock market? And guess what? This is exactly what we've done with the team at Prem Capital. This has been a long journey because this is not an easy task. To correlate enormous data sets and train them takes a lot of resources and a lot of time. And to be honest with you, as well, a lot of skills. But we started to be able to do predictions that were actually pretty good. However, all of that was still pretty much manual, not fully automated. So we kept working, and in 2018 we had kind of a breakthrough because we really managed to get these three things working together, and we started to get really, really good results. And we thought, yes, this is something that we could get off the ground. However, we still had some issues, and issues related to risk. Because even if you have an artificial intelligence capable of predicting at a level of, let's say, 90%, which is excellent, okay, for artificial intelligence purpose, 90% of correct prediction is very satisfying to you. But you still have these 10% of uncertainty. And if it's just happened that your position is in that 10%, well, again, you face the risk of liquidation. So we kept thinking of how would it be possible to secure these 10%? How could we find a way to make this 10% out of trouble. Because it's all good to say, well, I can win 90% of the time, but that means as well that I can lose 10% of the time. So how do we address this? Is it possible? All right, so we know that the zero risk, what do you call it? The zero risk possibility is out of reach because it's perfection, okay? But we can try to tend towards that. We can try to reach that. And to do that, what we needed is basically a security of form, okay? So we had the luxury to discuss with a hedge fund in Luxembourg that said, look, guys, we like what you do, all right? We had a lot of back and forth. We signed NDAs because obviously all our IP was there. And we said, look, this is what we can do at the moment, and this is where we would like to go, but we need this mechanism. And they said, I think we could help here. I said, really? Really? Yes. They said we could actually cover for this possible or potential risk. So we actually made a deal. And as you know, being a hedge fund, they certainly didn't do that for free. They asked for 30% equity, which is absolutely fine if you think about it, because this is how it works. If you enter a position, all right, and that you realize that the market goes against you, what the fund does is basically it covers your position to allow the dip to go further down, all right? So it's like an anti-dip mechanism. And while it does that, our bots, with its intelligence, start to do scalping, all right? I know it's a big jump from talking about artificial intelligence, but just for you to understand the mechanism, as the dip is going, so the fund is covering for the dip, while we get scalping going to recover the losses. When the market goes again the way we want, we give back the money to the fund, and everybody's happy. Okay, so we will talk obviously a lot more about that in the coming Zoom, because here it's an introduction. But I wanted you to understand that we have a mechanism when there is friend capital doing its best to train its bots using artificial intelligence, and doing that as the system improves, we have the fund securing the investments. Okay, so the power of this cannot be understated. This is an absolute incredible proposition that we have here. And I hope you investors sitting here listen carefully. I know you have lots of questions, but I am trying to give you really what can be done. What can be done when, or more precisely, what happens when you enter friend capital. All right, this is what we give you. So to give you just a quick overview, we have 20 million tokens. These tokens are called PRM. Okay, so as 30% went to the fund, that's already 6 million for the fund. Okay, and then we have 4 million for investors, and we have a 10 million reserve. Okay, that's the idea. Right. So what you need to understand is each time an investor, let's say, put $100 in the platform, the fund put $100 in the platform to allow the platform to grow, to basically continue its research and development and continue its growth. Because at the moment, as I said, we are semi-automated. We have 3 markets: crypto, forex, and stocks. But we plan, it's not that we plan, we have that in the pipeline. We will add real estate and as well new venture capital. All right, but what we want this system to be fully automated. And to do that, we have to get out of the current situation, which is basically we enter a position, so we call that an iteration. We wait for the outcome, we sit, we look, we say it's good, we validate manually, we go to the next one. So we want to do that in an automated fashion. So to do that, the way to do this is basically to use the blockchain. So it's a blockchain. Yes, it's a basically decentralized ledger technology. But we don't want to go public blockchain for a simple reason: is if we have too many participants, this clogs the system. The validation takes too long. Speed of transaction is terrible. We can't have that. This is why we have decided to go for private blockchain, less participants, still super secure and transparent, plus the speed of transaction. So that's basically the best of both worlds. Okay, so very exciting. And we know that after the token sale that is taking place, guys, I can't tell you how excited I am about all this. On the 5th of November, this is it. The pre-sale starts. So you will be able to put your hands on some tokens at a very competitive price, followed by 2 rounds. Okay, so the pre-sales, you get these PRM tokens at 50% of their original price. And then on round 1, you can get more at 70%. Sorry, they will be 70% of the price. And then the second round, that would be 90%. So basically, pre-sale 50 cents, round 1 70 cents, round 2 90 cents, and then from there, well, it's just the base price that is $1, and this is it. Okay, so I know you will say, "Oh my God, there is only 100,000 token for the pre-sale." Well, that's what we can give to investors who don't want to comply with any kind of regulation. But we have this 10 million reserve, and where we have, sorry, I don't want to be derogatory, but saying that investors ready to invest more money, they have access to more tokens, but they have to comply with some regulation. So we use for that the simple agreement for future token, the SAFT mechanism. So that's what it is. So I think you get an idea of where we want to go. This token sale is supposed to go for the best of 2 months because we want to ramp up the system. You have to understand that how we keep selling tokens, your funds are invested in the platform straight away. So they start to produce, okay? You choose between 6 investment plans that deliver between 8 and 18% a month. And this is working straight away. So as the token sale happens, we keep growing our ecosystem to be able in January to be in full automated mode. All right, so that this is this ramping up. Beginning of November, start of the pre-sale, then we have 2 months, and in January, okay, let's be honest, we would like that to be the 1st of January, but we know that it's probably not realistic because it's Christmas, there is this really hard situation with the COVID. So let's say mid-January, we will be fully automated, which means from there, we can launch the full ecosystem and go towards what we always wanted, our full ecosystem, and looking towards the Prem exchange. That's what we want to deliver. Have the very first cross niche exchange. That's a mouthful for me, all right? Because as you can see, living in France, Australia, and Switzerland, I think I don't have any accent anymore. It's just a mishmash. I hope you understand me. Let me check, because I can see as I speak that the chat is filling up and that I have questions. Okay, so I will start to answer these questions, but first I want to say a few things, okay? Next Zoom is 4th of November. So on the 4th of November, we will talk tokenomics, we will talk business model, we will talk investors' profit, and of course, the pre-sale. The pre-sale, it's a simple mechanism, okay? You have the 5th, where you can basically get your hands on 100,000 tokens, then round 1, 200,000 tokens, round 2, another 200,000 tokens. Okay. And I think this is correct. One thing I missed is talk to you. I said how great Switzerland is for crypto and blockchain projects. But more importantly, what really counts for us at Prem Capital, we want to be as transparent as possible. So what I try to say by that, don't expect me to give you our IP. I'm happy to talk about it, what we do, but I will, of course, I will not divulge the full IP of what we do. But if we are in Switzerland, there is a good reason. It's because we want to be in line with the regulator and obtain a full FINMA license. Okay, so FINMA is the financial market regulator in Switzerland, and when everything is above board, you get a license from them, and this is as true as it gets. You can't get any better than that, because we want to be here for the long haul. We don't want to be one of these projects that you've been involved in the past, where you got rolled in all sort of things unsavory. We are here to deliver, and we want to show you that it's possible. So think of it as a journey. We have a situation at the moment where we are in semi-automated mode with 3 markets, and we plan to very quickly be in full automated mode with 5 markets. We want to show you that we can deliver, and of course, there will be a point where we will be able to show to some selected investors the statistics of what we have done so far. It's not like we started yesterday. So in my view, this is very exciting. And if it's okay with you, I just look at the time. Yes, we've been on for a good 20 minutes or so. And I would like, if it's okay, to answer a few questions. So let me go through the chat if you don't mind. Yes, again, I show my age. All right, just quickly, the team, right? You might have seen on the website that, yes, there is myself. I've been basically plastered on a lot of articles in the field, including Forbes. Look, it's all good, but I want you to understand that Prem, it's not just Nicolas Dur. Prem is a full team. And at the head of the team, you might have seen that on the website. We have on the legal side, Marina, an outstanding player in the field. And on the marketing side, we have Denis, okay? So I'm never sure if I should say that the English way, Denis, or Denis, the French way, but I'm sure he doesn't mind if I pronounce his name a bit funny, okay? And we have as well someone that is not appearing yet, but that is a very important figure in the team. It's Mikhail, all right, who's working basically with the opinion leaders basically in Russia. So it's. I just want to tell you that we really have a full team. Yes, people scattered all around the world, but we have amazing developers. We have, first-class data scientists, and I want to mention that as well. We have, our community managers. They have the hardest job because they have to answer to your questions. And as you know, sometimes people get edgy because they have, maybe their day didn't go very well, and sometimes they think it's okay to unleash on community managers or admins in the chat. I please ask you to be as nice as you can. This is what we believe in. We believe in respect. So there is no point in harassing these people. They do the job the best they can. Just be nice with them if possible. Okay. So I just keep going. Grüße aus Deutschland, Nicolas. Thank you. How did you move to the investment field? I think I explained that. It was, you could say by luck, but it's more by, when I started to realize that I couldn't do properly energy efficiency in Switzerland, I had two options. It was go back to Australia, all right, to keep doing what I was doing there, or stay in Switzerland. And of course, I have family here, so the choice was quickly made. And to be honest with you, starting to delve into what blockchain and crypto has to offer, for me is an absolute amazing journey, right? And I hope that I can take you on board with what we have achieved here with this project. Okay, then okay, awesome decision. Thank you. How much will the token cost? Okay, so I think I said that. So the pre-sale, 50 cents, round one, 70 cents, round two, 90 cents, and then $1. Now, you can expect reasonably rapid growth of this token. I can't foresee the future, for sure, but I would say with the market capitalization of Prem, this will go up. And second, with the market value of the artificial intelligence increasing, because remember that we've been testing this for the best of 3 years, all right? But that was still test bed. Now we are getting real ramping up, all right? So we will be able to see how much the system is capable of handling, all right? And of course, we will let you know as we go. We have high confidence that this will work. And when this happens, the amount of data chewed by the artificial intelligence will just go through the roof. So you just can imagine how much better the artificial intelligence will become. And doing so, its market value will ramp up as well, right? So that's what will happen. So Swiss projects are the best. That's very kind. What I like about Switzerland is, yes, things go slow every now and then, but most of the time things go correct. All right, they take the time to do it proper. All right, and this is what we aim at Frame Capital. We want this project to work the right way. Right? And then I have Nicolas tell about marketing. How do you plan to popularize the project? Well, I could say just with my pretty face. Of course, this is not how it works. I would like you guys to appreciate. I don't know how much time you've spent looking at this website. This website is really well done. Second, the videos that has been made is, I showed this video to a few people in the field, and they said this is really not just one, but 2 notches above, the rest. And of course, the presentation is as well really well done. There is an amazing marketing team coming with really good ideas, and I think I should let Denis talk about that because that's really his forte. But just to let you know that marketing-wise, we are in really good hands. People, they know what they're doing, and they put the effort right behind it. It's not just a quick, okay, let's try to launch a project, quickly off the bat. No, it's thought through. It's very good. And if you look at the amount of articles that have been published, to me, it's just a question of time that people will come to the project. Of course, you investors or potential investors, you have a role to play because through your experience, in my view, you will be able to share that with the world. Okay, so that's my answer. Now, you have a good team. I do agree with that. Admins in the chat help answer all the questions. This is one of the reasons for my presence. Well, I'm really happy to hear that because as I said, for these admins, they really do the groundwork. Okay, for me, yes, I'm always there, but I I'm not facing the front line, put it that way. Right? Yes, I'm doing a presentation today. I try to give you as much as I can, but I have a lot of respect for the frontliners, who have to basically bear the brunt of people who basically speak their mind, especially in this day and age where, behind a screen at a keyboard, you allow yourself sometimes to be a bit, put it that way, rude or brutal. So again, this is my request to you guys. When you address these admins, be as nice as possible. They really try their best to address your questions. Okay, so let's aim at meeting again on the 4th of November. I hope I answered the questions as best as I could. Remember that if you want more details, you can always reach out to me. My email address is ceo@prem.capital. And of course, come to the next Zoom on the 4th of November, where we will delve in details about, as I said, the tokenomics, the business model, investors' profit, the partners program, all these things that are so important for you and of course for us. Thank you for your attention, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again on the 4th of November. Thank you.